Hi, welcome to Man of Steel Fan Gives Up. Try to be a wee bit different now. So, what is the latest? Right. Okay, welcome to Man of Steel Fan Gives Up. The Facebook page on YouTube. So my thoughts of the day. First of all, let's answer one of the questions sent in to the page. It was about DC Rebirth and what books are out there for it. And simple answer to that is, you go on Google, you go to Waterstone's books or any sort of bookshop. But basically, Rebirth, we've got all the first issues of most of the stuff out there on hardback, and some of them are already on paperback. You got your Superman, Batman, just about everybody out there. Of course, I'm still a wee bit behind. I'm still collecting Justice League books. I'm already still buying that collection of the pictures, and I got the Omnibus Rebirth. I think I have to try and get some sort of dark side story that's meant to happen before Rebirth, so to speak. I read the Omnibus and I was enthralled in it, but I wasn't too sure on why Superman was on the other Earth, and I can take it that Superman got killed by Doomsday, and I don't think he's coming back on this Earth, and so to speak. So I'm not altogether there. Maybe if you want to drop us some comments down below if you're up to date on it, and fill me in the whole arc of the Rebirth and what actually happened and the start of it. That helped me out tremendously. So another thing is, it's funny that I see these articles, and remember we were talking about Joss Weadon and Kevin Feige. Now, as you know, I'm a DC fan, and unlike all the other YouTubers out there that are less unbiased than me, they'll cover just about everything, and then you got the reactors videos, and they'll react to just about anything. Me, and just DC. Okay, it'd be wrong for me to react to any other thing, because it'd be less enthusiastic. Okay, and that's me being honest, you know. And that's why. Anyway, so Kevin Feige and Joss Weadon, and one of the articles is wrote, and there's a reason why I'm talking about that unbiased reaction thing. It's all going to gel to this one. And some of the posts that I made saying betrayal, right, for Joss Weadon is betraying Kevin Feige. And let's be honest here, these are directors and writers and producers and stuff like that, and it's a free country, it's a free world, they can go wherever they want. Even though I'm not over the moon for Joss Whedon directing anything related to DC, I get that he's still, you know, he has an audience, he has a fan base and everything else, you know. So whatever he brings, it's going to be decent enough anyway. But for some reason, some people believe that there is a war in the studios between Marvel and DC, and I'm afraid to say, you know, well, not really afraid to say it, that's just for us. The war belongs to us guys and girls, the fans. And it doesn't exist in the film industry or the comic book industry. You know, they all want everybody to do well, but secretly they still want themselves to do really, really well. You know, the people at the helm, you know, Kevin Feige went to the same sort of college or school or whatever as Jeff Johns, so they want both to succeed. But the war is just between us guys, you know, and and the only reason why I'm fighting in the war is because of the unbiased stuff that is out there, thanks to these clickbait sites that say the word, you know, betrayal. It's just it's just nonsense. And then we've got Kevin Feige. Well, he's come out and said, you know, we're not really, you know, about the R-rated movie, okay, and how they're planning on Marvel won't go dark and stuff. And I've said this in my other videos. And Sony does the dark thing. DC does the dark thing. But Marvel has got this sort of kid family thing going for them. And it would be stupid for them to do an R-rated movie. They've got, and why should they? They've got Sony coming up with maybe Logan. But that's the benefit for DC, is DC's letting the directors have that sort of range to do the, you know, if they're trying to tell the story, Warner Bros. Will let the directors have that sort of experience. And unfortunately, just the fan base out there that's been, you know, have been brainwashed by the amount of Marvel films that come out, that they believe that in order to do movies, it's got to be all light-hearted and spandex and tights and stuff like that, and all happiness. And they've been brainwashed and saying that is the way to do it. But DC has come out and they will do that, but they want to also be free to put things in their film that they want to. Now, that I don't remember his name, but just recently the guy from Games of Thrones, actor who we don't know what part he's playing, but we believe in the interview that he had that he's playing some character at the start of the film, because he says something along the lines of, you know, the start of the film is dark, but in a good way, right? And but there are some moments of fun throughout. Now, whether he's been coached by Warner Brothers to say that, but what it says to me is, and it gives me a sense of, well, if it's kind of dark at the beginning, then what we saw in that trailer must be the big war scene that we saw, the sort of Lord of the Rings epic fight scene, and we're going to get some sort of baddie straight at the start of the film, and they're going to be, you know, crushing somebody. You know, it's that dark, but then it's like it's standard filmmaking. You know, you get the baddie doing the bad thing, and then later on you see the good guys coming in, and now you know what the threat is. You see the good guys all coming together and doing that with some light-hearted moments. But what he did say wrong, something about what he said, that BVS was, you know, maybe that's where BVS had a mistake. No, that's not where they had a mistake. It's just some people out there want a different experience, or when they go to see I don't get why people went to see Batman versus Superman and thought it was going to be light-hearted. These are two superheroes and they're fighting, you know, and so already it's sort of giving you the shadow that this isn't some sort of light funny thing. And I just remembered right there and then, again, one of my worst films this year I watched was Age of Ultron. And going back to what I was saying about it's not going to be R-rated. Marvel's not going to be R-rated movies. You remember that scene in Age of Ultron where one of them wants to swear, Captain America wants to swear, then you had Iron Man, whatever, and he says, "Oh, what's your language?" And then that joke gets repeated all throughout the film, you know. And I went, that's how far risky Marvel's going to go. Again, also to be them, good re-image for the kids and stuff like that. We superheroes do not swear. No. You know, and do you really want Iron Man to drop an F-bomb and stuff like that? You know, but with the DC, we're already there. We're already with them at that level. What else has been hitting the news? Okay, we've got another animated movie, Batman and the Harley Quinn one, done by Bruce Timm. What do you think? Yeah, I'm fine with the voice of Harley Quinn from that woman that does the Big Bang Theory. I'm not 100% sure on why it needs to be done in the Batman animated style. You know, those were cartoons, classic, brilliant, had a look, had its own sort of feel, you know. And the animation, if you go back to it, it was ahead of its time at the time, but now it's kind of, you know, you can see the drawing marks, pen marks and everything else, but that's what makes it unique. So when you go and see this DVD and you see that these drawings, you'll be reminded of other films like, you know, Sub-Zero, and not anything wrong, love them, you know, love these films, Sub-Zero, and you'll be reminded of The Mask of the Phantasm, or Batman and the Batwoman, or whatever the film was called. And I just find for a movie, for Harley Quinn, I would have preferred, you know, some sort of different drawings, because we've got a different voice doing Harley. Okay, we've got the same voice doing Batman and stuff, but I would have liked. I know it's probably paying homage to that, but we've already got lots of films that pay homage to those animated cartoons. But I'll still be buying it. I'll still be watching it. I'll still be loving it. But that's my only gripe. You know, give us something different with Harley that we haven't seen, like the Arkham. You know, Assault on Arkham. That was good. You know, you had a re-release of that movie along with a good documentary on it. Well, I might as well talk about that just now, the sort of DVD review. So yeah, Assault on Arkham was pretty good. The DVD comes with the new edition of it, comes with, was it the Secret Origin? It's in my DVD case. It's in my DVD. It's in the wardrobe just now. I can't take it out just now, but it does come with a good documentary on it. I don't know if it's the Up and Away, or if it's a Secret Origin one, or what else is there? Secret Origin of the DC, but anyway, I think it's that one anyway. The story's brilliant. And when we first heard the Suicide Squad, we thought that would be a good story. And then we hear about the Batman film, and then we're thinking, oh, is it a wee bit like Assault on Arkham? Is it going to be something to do with Joker? Is it something to do with Batman being Arkham, like the games? But the good chemistry between all the characters, a good sign. One of the best scenes in it is when Harley Quinn goes into the prison. She holds up a gun and she's just shooting Joker behind the glass, you know, and bum 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 bum. I'm trying to remember if it had some flashbacks to the romance, but no, it sums up Suicide Squad very well. So no doubt you've already got it. So if not, if you want to see Suicide Squad, if you love that film, get Assault on Arkham. What else? there was talks about you know, the posters for Justice League film and how it's missing one of the characters of the big poster. And luckily for us, there are actually some intelligent people out there that know that that's the place where you to stand, so you can fit into the Justice League backdrop and become a Justice League member. And that's oh, Krypton. Yep, we've seen the trailer for TV Krypton TV show. Is like at last 3 or 4 years or so since we've heard it was getting made. You've probably seen my reaction. I've done a reaction to it. I think it's looking good. It does have the feel of the Man of Steel. So I went and checked on other reviews or reactions to it, and well, I just watched the one. I disliked it straight away. We had this guy, I don't mention his name because there's probably hundreds of people like him out there. And he just watched it, and one of his main beefs of it was that, well, yeah, it's got lots of characters and everything else, but why are we bothering to be invested in these characters if we know they're all going to die at the end? And I'm thinking, you've totally missing the plot here. You're totally missing the whole concept and idea of it. How many times have we went to the movies and seen films like Pompeii or The Day After Tomorrow, disaster movies with thousands upon thousands of people are going to die, and there is only maybe a few survivors, right, or a handful of survivors for the next day of man. Okay, when Noah's Ark. What's the point of going to see Noah when we know that it's just going to be him and his family and some bunch of animals in a boat, right? What's the point of going to see that? We already know the story, and the story is not about people dying at the end, but it's the journey. It's feeling more emotional about the loss and the struggles. Would we want to see an Alderaan movie now we know that the movie gets blown up? Yes, right, we do. We want to see the culture. We've only seen a wee glimpse of it in episode 3. We've seen the Chancellor and stuff like that. We as a species are enthralled by taking our minds elsewhere in the science fiction world and seeing what this culture is meant to live like. I mean, Man of Steel, when that movie came out, people wanted to know more about Krypton. They wanted to see another hour on Krypton, just so that they could understand the culture. And that's it. Like Pompeii, we want to find the culture and things and how people lived before they got, and maybe we can learn something from them, like the Romans. And it's so for this guy to moan about why we bother getting invested in these characters and who cares if it is a part of the DCEU culture or if it's not, if it's a part of the comic culture or if it's a part of the Man of Steel culture. I would prefer, I would have loved to see the Man of Steel because that's what people got interested in. And so it's been written by David Goyer, the one that is responsible for what you've seen. So it's and to have and if it was in the comics, again, people were just going to see another world. They're going to have a more backstory to what was only thought of as Jor-El, Kara, and sending the wee boy off. That's all they would know. The normal people listen to me, but that's all they would know is this couple. It was a doomed planet. They sent them. A lot of people out there inquisitive, want to know why the world was dying, why the world was getting destroyed, were they responsible for it? What was, it's so it's fun. It's going to be enthralling for those who don't know much about Superman. And now we're going to have Krypton, Gotham, whatever. Yep, bring on a whole series about Oa. Right, let's find out the history of the Guardians. Let's have the Martian. Let's have a whole series on the Martian Manhunter's family and stuff like that, and how they lived. Bring anything on. So yeah, this year's looking at, the trailer says 2017. They've already took some of the trailers off the internet. Right, and why? What was the point now? It's somehow the trailer for Krypton sneaked onto the internet and exploded. And now you're getting, it's taken off. It's not allowed in this country to see. It's a pilot episode. You're meant to gain interest and get people wanting to watch it. So why bother taking it off? No. So yeah, I just, it's a funny world that we live in. And this is what annoys me just now is that there is businesses out there that are fueling the fire of the fan base and the war between Marvel and DC by using certain words like betrayal. And I had one message before I end off this video. Somebody wrote in to the page and they thought this was, and they gave the page 1 star, and rightfully so, because I look at the reviews and I look at what people think of the page and what I'm trying to do. Same as these videos. Yeah, I could talk about politics, I could talk about religion, and it's up to you to hate me for my point of views. It's up to you. But again, I try and live still a nice, good life. So this guy wrote in and he says, I got interested in the page. I thought it was a Superman page and it's going to give me all this information. But then in the last few posts she made, it was all about bashing Marvel. And that is just, and it's just making the DC, and I like DC and Marvel, and it's making the DC boys look weak and immature, and it goes on along those lines. And I couldn't answer that. I just said, well, thank you for your comments, and thank you for your sending the message in, and we try our best to combat the biased views from certain people. There wasn't much I could answer to that. If that's how they view the page, so be it. But my answer to that has always been, we don't go out the way to bash Marvel. What we come across is memes, is jokes. And those jokes can say can say thousands of words within a couple of pictures, a couple of lines, and it gets the point across a lot quicker. Right? We're not going out and saying Marvel tars or this or that. We're just showing biased criticism, turning that around into a meme, into a sort of two-story, couple of words to highlight the biased views for DC. Our posts are mainly about DC and being positive, and we get struck by a lot of people out there that are tired of defending these of the beloved DC against these haters and everything else, and it just seems to become this is the way the world is now. Anything that's DC related is and my colleague on the internet, I say colleague, doesn't know me, I'm a small quip, he's film junkie, right? He says it best, and he's a Marvel and DC fan, and a bit more of a DC, and he spends his time defending it. And there's other people out there that will defend DC, but by defending DC, there has to be a casualty. You'll have to put something down. And the worst and the one thing that's attacking DC just now are people that are basing things on Marvel. So what we try to do is we highlight the stuff that Marvel is doing and what DC is doing, and we say, well, DC did this, then Marvel done that, quite similar, but you're alright with Marvel way, but because DC, and some of the times DC's done it first, you put DC down because mainly it's because DC. So that is our aim. And well, when I started the page, I went to these DC, and I've done a video on this as well. When I started this page, I did it just for me. It was a safe place, safe fortress of solitude for me to go to, where the only thing I'll see on the page is DC, my own stuff. But it'll be positive news about DC. And so when I click on Facebook, whatever's there is just, and people liked that. People saw that, and I was harsh at first. I was really hard because I didn't want anybody putting down anything about DC. You know, you had the Christopher Nolan fans, and then you had the Zack Snyder fans, and then you had the Christopher Reeve fans, and you know, some of these people would be hating the other people, and I went, nah, bye bye, ban, and it became hard for me to make a meme about, you know, Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill, and I went, no, I don't want to make posts about these two, you know, I don't want to even ask who's better. I hate that stuff. I hate asking who's better than Superman, because we've all got our own preferences. But what we can do is just highlight the good stuff about the two of them. But because this is 2017, I want to concentrate on the here and now and leave the past behind us. So I hope that clarifies what I'm thinking. I noticed also, as I say, I lost some subscribers, and again, I only apologise if I offended your political or religious beliefs in any way. So in the meantime, stay positive out there, and like or comment anything you may want me to talk about down below. Thank you.